Who was John Rawls? Most of what I'm going to say about John Rawls in terms of biography, I'm taking from one of his students, Samuel Freeman, particularly from the introduction to a book that Freeman wrote about Rawls. Rawls was born into a well-off Baltimore family before World War II. He served honorably in the Pacific during World War II, honorably and courageously. He finished his military service, then he finished his education, and went on to be a professor of philosophy at Harvard for a number of years. Rawls, during this time, during his education, there is another event that's worth mentioning. Rawls was raised in a Christian family and came to disagree with Christianity. In particular, he came to see Christianity as having too much pessimism about human nature. I mention that because Rawls wrote on occasion about religion, right, particularly about religion and politics. Right? And it's worth considering the extent to which this optimism about human nature influences his political perspective. So he became a professor at Harvard for 30, I believe 30, 40 years. Right? And he had an enormous influence on political philosophy, particularly in the English-speaking world. Most of that influence comes through his students. Okay? He taught at Harvard. Right? He taught a number of brilliant students who've gone on to teach ethics and political philosophy at many American universities, and I believe universities in other parts of the world. So he was a great teacher and a brilliant thinker. He actually wrote very little. Okay? Basically, he had two major works. In the early 70s, A Theory of Justice, and in the 90s, Political Liberalism. However, right, the fact that he only had two major books doesn't mean that they weren't enormously influential. Right? There's a few other smaller books and collections of essays, including the one we're going to read for this course. The two books, he only produced a small number of books, but they were incredibly well crafted. Right? That is, he thought about things with enormous detail and precision. Okay? So two books, but two books with an enormous impact. Okay? So that is John Rawls, okay? Major figure in American political philosophy, really in American philosophy in general. In the segments that come, we're going to talk about the body of work and the perspective that Rawls developed and presented in his work.